Welcome to this week's episode of The Breakdown. I'm Mike.
And I'm Austin. So first off, I just want to thank everybody for all the views these past couple weeks and all the support that's been given to me and Mike on the start of our new show. And we have an action-packed show started for you today. And I have a correction to make from last week. During a 2-minute warning, I said that the Giants were picking 7th in the NFL draft. They're actually picking 6th. So I just wanted to clear that up for everybody, and we're ready to go. Let's get started.
So for everybody that used to watch our old podcast, we used to do a thing at the end of it called Stud of the Week. Well, we decided to bring that back, and we're going to be doing it at the beginning of our show. So to start off, who's your Stud of the Week, Austin?
Gotta go with the Cleveland Browns. I never thought I would say this as my Stud of the Week. The Cleveland Browns this week. Odell Beckham signing, the trade for Odell Beckham. It was a huge trade for them, and look, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, not to mention Kareem Hunt, who they signed in the offseason. This team is going to be loaded next year, and I can't wait to see the new Cleveland Browns.
That's a really good Stud of the Week. Definitely very deserving. My Stud of the Week is for all you college basketball fans out there that have been keeping up with it being March Madness, is St. Mary's, who just upset the number one team in the nation, Gonzaga, to clinch a berth into the tournament. And the reason they're my Stud of the Week is St. Mary's has been on the bubble pretty much every year for the last 4 or 5 years and almost never gets in. Like last year they had 30 wins and they get in. They lost to Gonzaga by 48 earlier this season. 48! And then they won the West Coast Conference Championship to win a bid. No doubt, my Stud of the Week.
Yeah, that was a huge game last night. That was incredible, and winning after. And they lost to Gonzaga again before the season was over in March. At the beginning of March, they lost to them again, I think by 13. So They lost twice to Gonzaga. That was huge. So moving on to our topics for this week. Like I said, we have an action-packed show prepared for you guys today. First, we're starting off with Will Wade. The Will Wade situation down in Baton Rouge with LSU basketball. Got the whole country buzzing. Any sports fan knows about it. So I just got to ask Michael real quick. How do you feel about this Will Wade situation?
The dude is just, my goodness, man. Like, think. Like, why would you personally make a phone call like that there's even a small chance? In the moment you probably don't think, oh, this is going to be recorded. I think everybody knows that there's payments going on in college. As much as it hurts to say, we all know it probably happens, but we've already seen assistant coaches from big schools get fired already, from Oklahoma State, Auburn, USC, Arizona. And it's kind of another situation like, if you're I'm not supporting it. I have no respect for guys that pay college players. If you want to get paid, go play in Europe for a year, then go pro. That's my opinion on it. But getting an assistant coach or somebody like that's not like direct to you to make phone calls like that, it's just complete stupid. And I think he deserves to be fired. Without a doubt. Anytime you get called, like you deserve to be fired. That's atrocious anytime you pay a college basketball player.
I disagree, man. I think, look, everybody's doing it. Every major college program in the country, Duke, Kansas, Kentucky.
There's no room for it, though.
They're all. What do you mean there's no room for it? Yeah, everybody's doing it. It's not a problem that he did it. It's a problem that he got caught.
Everybody that gets caught should be fired.
Dude, I disagree.
There's no place for it in the game.
I disagree. This is a bigger issue. Look, this is a bigger issue of whether college athletes should be compensated. And do you think they should be compensated?
I'm not saying that they don't, but at the moment, it's against regulations to pay college athletes.
Everybody is doing it though. If everybody is doing it, you got to get in on it, or you're not gonna be competitive in the market. If Duke is paying players, they're paying Zion, they're paying RJ, they're paying all these big guys that come to school there. I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying if Kentucky's doing it, if Kansas is doing it, you got to jump in and do it too. Like you can't just sit back. It's not the fact that he did it; it's the fact that he got caught, dude. What are you doing? You're on the phone. You're the head coach. You're the head coach. Why are you on the phone with this guy? He's a middleman. Dude, you have assistants. Why? That's the thing that, like, you're the head coach. Use a burner phone. Do something. Like, your voice should not be on there. Like, what are you doing, dude? You're the head coach.
I think it's a matter of time before he gets fired. Right now, he's suspended indefinitely. He's going to get fired. The fact that he didn't even want to meet with AD. You want to know why he didn't want to meet with the athletic director?
Look, he's definitely guilty.
Because he didn't want to answer those tough questions. Did you pay Javonte Smart to come to LSU? If he's under oath, that's why. It's so obvious. It's written on the wall that he did. And then just look at the transcript of what he's saying. I made offers to this guy. I'm leaving out a lot. He was saying some strong words.
Yeah, he has a very strong language. It's the way he speaks.
And he was saying, and then he was talking how the offer was more tilted towards the family. I'm pretty sure a scholarship offer isn't tilted towards the family. It's tilted toward the person. So it's without a doubt they're talking about money
Look,
transactions.
the reason why I don't think he should get fired is because what he did, let's not forget, what he did is wrong, but that's not an NCAA violation. The NCAA violation comes into play if he actually paid the player, which right now they have no proof of. So unless they can prove that, you don't have grounds to fire Will Wade. And a lot of people in Baton Rouge and a lot of people in Louisiana still want him to be the head coach. The guy's an excellent head coach. Don't shake your head. You tell me he's not an excellent head coach?
He's a good head coach. He's great at paying players.
Dude, they were 18-15 last year.
Yeah, and then he bought a bunch of new players, and now they're good this year.
He's a good coach though. They're 18-15, 8-10 in the SEC. This year, 26-5, 16-2 in the SEC. You tell me he's not a good coach?
He's good. He was good at VCU, but it sounds like he's also good at writing checks.
Every coach is good at writing checks. That's what I'm trying to say. This is not all right. Look, this is not the issue of whether Will Wade did the right thing by paying the player. If he did pay the player, that's not the issue. The issue is, is it ethical for these college kids to be exploited like this and not get paid? If all of them are getting paid, like if the big players are getting paid, they all need to get paid. And I understand there's not enough money to go around for the NCAA to pay all these players, but they make billions and billions of dollars. Why can't these players do the same? The players should be able to make money off their own name. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you
go to Europe.
What do you mean?
Go to Europe. You can pay. You pay just like Luka
So
Doncic
do you think the system in the NCAA is fair?
You get a free education.
A free education. You can't even make the best of it.
You get all of the free shoes. You get a bunch of free stuff, and you get to play one of the biggest programs with the biggest spotlights.
You know why you get all the free stuff, the free shoes? Do you know why? Because Adidas and Nike are sponsoring the program and paying the coaches for that sponsorship. These coaches are getting paid millions of dollars for the players to represent them. Like, the players are the ones making the shoe deals and all the endorsements go higher because a guy like Zion, he sells Adidas and Nike Buku shoes every year just because of who he is. Like, wherever school he goes to, they're going to sell a bunch of stuff. Like, you don't think he deserves, to have something for his own? He can't even have a job on the side. Like, that's how being a college athlete is. It's like, some kids come from poor income families. Some kids don't have nothing. Some kids don't have parents that can support them while they're in college. They can't go out and make the best of their situation on their own. Like, yeah, you can say, well, they're getting a free education, but you can't make the best of that education if you have to practice, 4 or 5 hours a day, then you have class. You can't have
guys like Zion. He's gonna be top.
What happens if he tears his ACL and he's
that's what insurance policies are for.
Dude, come on, man. It's not just about Zion. It's about all the other players, all the other good players that could be first and second. That could be second round picks. These guys are sacrificing their future. One injury and their career is done. They don't have insurance policies because they're not that good of a player to have an insurance policy. They're not.
Guess what?
They're good enough to go to the NBA, but they're not good enough to have an insurance policy. Come on, man.
Anybody can have an insurance policy.
Dude, oh my god.
I have an insurance policy.
But not for $9 million.
Well, no. Do I look like I'm worth $9 million?
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying, though. Those kids don't look like they're worth $9 million neither. These kids deserve to have something. I'm not saying pay them like a salary, but you're telling me that this guy can't go out and get an endorsement deal on his own? Like, if he's a big name, if he's Zion Williamson, if he's a big-time name, why can't he go out and get an endorsement deal with Nike and have his own shoe?
Maybe down the line, the NCAA will change that, but as of right now, it's a violation, and I feel there's no room for it.
I think that I'm going to propose something. I think the way to do this is to eliminate the one and done rule. That's the way kids can choose to go to the NBA right away.
I do agree with that. Like if a kid's good enough, he should be able to go from high school to the NBA like it was in the past.
Yeah.
Then you eliminate this whole thing, and then it pretty much eliminates the whole you having to pay a guy to come. Then we don't have to worry about this whole thing because those guys will just go to the NBA.
I think you'll see that. I think like the G League and then the NFL now having like the new leagues coming, like the XFL coming out, and then the AAF, their league. Maybe they have like a developmental league so these kids can come out of high school and maybe do something with that. But they got to do something because if they don't do anything, this will keep happening. Will Wade is just the first of many to come. Like, this is not over. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not over, and it's going on behind under the table, and you got to have a better system and a better system in place to help these kids.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens here in the next upcoming years and see what happens with the Will Wade situation. But moving on, we had a couple big, huge trades happen in the NFL, and to start off, you kind of brought it up early on, was Odell Beckham is now a Cleveland Brown. And the trade was a first, which is a 17th pick, a third-round pick, and Jabril Peppers, the safety out of Michigan. So I have to ask, what's your feelings overall about the trade? Who won, who lost the trade, and is it good for Odell?
Dude, the Cleveland Browns definitely won this trade. With the 17th pick, are they going to find a player better than Odell Beckham? No. With the third-round pick, are they going to find a better player than Odell Beckham? Probably not. Jabril Peppers, is he better than Odell Beckham?
Well, no.
No. So Odell Beckham, the Browns clearly won this trade. The Browns, they're tired of being the laughingstock of the league. This is Browns' era. This is the time to be a Cleveland Browns fan. Like,
who would ever guess that?
Like, look, I wouldn't have guessed it, okay? It's like the Saints, like when the Aints back in the 80s and 70s, like I'm sure Saints fans didn't guess that either, but the Cleveland Browns now, like their fans are probably like, wait, we're going to be good this year? Like, what's going on? Dude, like I said in the beginning, Odell Beckham, you got Baker Mayfield at quarterback, Nick Chubb at running back, Kareem Hunt, who nobody's even talking about. I mean, I know he has a lot of stuff going on, so he probably has a lot of stuff he needs to do to win over the Browns before he makes the team. But if he makes the team, you got him, he's dangerous. Then you have Jarvis Landry, him and Odell Beckham, when they're back at LSU, schooling these boys with one-handed catches. The gang is back together. Like, the Cleveland Browns are going to be the most interesting team to watch this year because they have the most talent and the most weapons on offense. But can the defensive side of the ball make up for it? I know you have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward come back for a second year. That'll be interesting to see if they can help out the offense and maybe go to the playoffs and win the division.
Yeah, Hard Knocks should have waited a year.
Yeah, they definitely
have
should.
Hard Knocks for the Browns this year. But, oh yeah, without a doubt. I think now, I don't know, you were trying to talk about great days for Cleveland. I'm going to talk about, from the Giants' perspective. I think the Giants were just kind of tired of the antics. And they felt it was time to move on. They felt it was the best for the French to move on. But, I mean, yeah, you're going to get a first-round guy. I mean, yeah, he'll probably be a starter. The third-round guy, you just hope you hit big on. And you figure Jabril Peppers, I'm sure their plan is he's going to be the replacement for Landon Collins, who just signed with the Washington Redskins. But I feel they could have got so much more. I mean, Odell Beckham is definitely a top 5 wide receiver, arguably a top 3, top 2 wide receiver this entire NFL. So I feel like you were saying the Browns definitely won this trade because they had, a playmaker to go with Baker, and now it takes the pressure off Jarvis. And then you have David Njoku at the tight end. I mean, their offense is loaded. But like I said, I think the Giants they were tired of all the antics from him. They were just, it seemed like for the season, him and Shermer they kept butting heads. It seemed like it wasn't a fit anymore.
I'm kind of curious to see whether those antics continue in Cleveland. Like, New York, you have a big
There's a lot of personality. Like, you have Baker and him. Right.
I agree with the personalities thing, but him and Jarvis get back together. Maybe that'll calm Odell down, and then not having that. New York, you have a lot of spotlight, so maybe Odell was just trying to live in the moment and be like that celebrity in the city of New York. In Cleveland, he's gonna be a celebrity, but it's more of like a small town feel. I'm just curious to see the antics. I don't think they're gonna continue.
Cleveland's got some loyal fans too. They'll embrace him, and like you were saying, this is probably the happiest Cleveland's been about football since they first got a football team.
Right.
So it's gonna be, I'm super excited to see how the Browns look this year with Odell.
So yeah, we're speaking of wide receivers and trades and antics. How about Antonio Brown going to the Oakland Raiders this past week? I mean, that was a huge trade. I mean, when you think about what the Steelers got back for him, they got a 3rd and a 5th round pick. Do you think that's fair for Antonio Brown?
No, because I don't think it's a perfect comparison. You look at the Odell trade, and you're like 1st, 3rd, and starting safety. All right. I mean, like I said, probably could have got more, but it's okay. And then you just look at Antonio Brown, and it's like Antonio Brown is a top 5 wide receiver, just like Odell, and all he's worth is a 3rd and a 5th. It's kind of weird, but I mean, it's hard to blame Stu because we don't know what was going on. What if that was the best offer they got? We don't really know. Now, from a talent standpoint, I mean, he should have I would have been asking for that Raiders, at least that late 1st round pick. That would have been my perspective. But maybe, if that was the best offer, it's hard to blame Steelers. Plus, you could kind of tell there he seemed like he didn't want to be there. And another thing, you figure the situation with the Raiders, they traded Amari. They don't really have number 1 wide receiver. Well, the Steelers have Juju Smith-Schuster to basically take over for Antonio Brown, who loves being in Pittsburgh, never really has any problems off the field. So, I do feel the Raiders won the trade, though, because all they had to get, they kept all 3 first-round picks, and they got a top 5 wide receiver to go with Derek Carr.
Dude, like you were saying, Juju Smith-Schuster had more receptions than Antonio Brown last year. It's not going to be difficult for him to step up and be the number 1 guy. He already is they had number 2 number 1s. It's not going to be a big deal for the Steelers. But the Oakland Raiders did win this trade, a 3rd and a 5th, like you were saying. That is nothing. Antonio Brown is definitely a top 5 wide receiver in this league. I think the reason why the offers were so low, though, is because of like you said, Odell Beckham, his stuff was on the field. But Antonio Brown's issues were in the locker room,
off the field,
and they were in the locker room. And that's something that concerns a lot of teams because if you have a strong group, a strong tight knit group like a family, and you're bringing a guy like that, it's kind of concerning
whether
he can fit in or not and continue to
Another thing, kind of going what you said is that remember the last game of the season against the Bengals was a must-win game for them. Didn't even show up.
Yeah. He didn't show up. Remember, I think it was a meeting too. He didn't show up to a team meeting.
He didn't show up at all pretty much that week.
That was crazy, dude. You can't. That's. And you're saying maybe that was the best offer they got. According to the reports, the Raiders were the only team really interested. A lot of teams that had interest, like the Jets and even the Saints, They were out early. They were like, we don't want this in our locker room. And I think that's why you saw the difference between him and Odell.
Yeah, so I just feel the Raiders just got a steal out of the whole situation, especially when moving to Vegas. Big name to go with the Vegas. But moving on to, like, probably the huge topic of this week's show, and I know everybody's got their own opinions on it. Who's better, MJ or LeBron? And I'm going to let you start it off with who do you think's better? Oh, so I'm going to guess by the 6. Here's MJ.
I know LeBron. The reason why we're talking about this is because last week LeBron passed MJ for most points all time in an NBA career. But look, this argument is over. Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. And you know why? 6 rings. 6-0 in the NBA Finals. I don't care about stats. 6-0 in the NBA Finals. The guy won 3 rings, quit a year, like sat out a year to play baseball, comes back, and wins 3 more rings in a row. Like, come on, man. This is over. LeBron is like, come on, man. Come on, man.
You gotta give LeBron a little respect, though. He has carried some teams.
Is he carrying the Lakers right now?
No. But then again, they were 4th before his injury.
Did he quit on the Lakers? Would MJ quit on the Lakers?
No. I mean, I agree with you. If you would like have a gun to my head and ask me who do you want to start a franchise with, I mean, Michael Jordan just has that killer instinct. Like, you can see in his face, we're not losing this game. Whereas LeBron, you know, if you ask me who's the best athlete between the two, it's LeBron hands down. The dude is probably the best athlete I've ever seen play NBA. Without a doubt. But I mean, Michael Jordan, he just had that killer instinct. Like, I'm carrying my team to the finals. We are not losing.
Athletic ability does not say you're the greatest of all time. MJ played a different era. The weightlifting, the endurance, like the stuff that they did, like the explosiveness training and stuff like that, wasn't the same as what it is now. Like, the players now are so much more athletic than those guys. You have like Russell Westbrook. Those guys are super athletic just because of the way they come up. Like MJ, he was more of a skilled player. Like, yeah, he had some crazy dunks. He was really athletic, but his skill was just like tremendous. He was the most skilled player. Look, 33 points per game in the playoffs. When he got to the NBA Finals, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Like, I don't even think he went to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Like, in 6 NBA Finals appearances, no Game 7s. When it was playoff time, MJ showed up. The guy averaged 43 points a game in 1985. Like, MJ, and not to mention, look, this is another reason why MJ's the GOAT. The guy has his own shoe company. You know what they do? Every year they release the same shoes. And people go nuts. It's the same exact shoe. There's nothing different. They release the same shoe. And people go crazy and spend hundreds of dollars on that stuff. Yeah. MJ is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think he said, like, if LeBron can find a way to win a couple more championships.
Not going to happen, but if it does happen.
I think at this moment, it's close. For me, it's super close. But MJ just has the slight edge just because of the 6-0 final. But as we heard, our 2-minute warning thing just went off. Great debate between MJ versus LeBron. A lot of great things. But moving on to our fan question for our 2-minute warning. And it comes from Dave, the Coke vendor. And the question is, when will NBA players stop demanding where they want to play and stop worrying about their own personal brand? Wow. That's a great question. Well, to answer that, I mean, I think it will never stop. I really don't see it coming to an end. Now, especially now, like, kind of going back to recent MJ in the 90s and stuff, guys in their own shoe brands wasn't as big. Now, it's all about the shoe deal. Screw your contract. You want that huge shoe deal. It's like, if you get a shoe, that will set you for like LeBron has a lifetime deal with Nike. Is his deal with the Lakers lifetime? No, it's for 3 years.
Right.
Like, it's all about the shoe deal. So for me, I don't think they'll ever stay. And they want to play for those big markets. So I don't think they'll ever stay.
I disagree, though. I think the big market stuff is starting to decline. I don't think players want to play so much for the big market. They want to play for a winner. Yeah, it's about their brand, but Kevin Durant didn't go to Los Angeles. He didn't go to New York. He went to Golden State, Oakland. There's nothing in Oakland. These guys want to win. Now, look, when going back to Dave's question, which, Dave, last name, Coven, I think it's kind of funny. But anyways, going back to his question, no, it's never going to stop. these guys are going to worry about their brands. They have a career outside of basketball. And look, I understand that. I totally do, because these guys get hurt. They have to worry about supporting their families, their parents, just like all of you guys, and just like everybody else out there. They have families, and they need to provide for those families, make sure they have a secure future. So if they get hurt, if something happens, they need to have some type of way to like a backup plan. So their brand is super important. But I disagree with the fact that they're going to big markets. I think that you're going to start seeing guys go to winning teams and not so much that big market. Look, the Lakers are a mess. Just because they're in Los Angeles doesn't mean guys are going to go there. I don't think any big name free is going to sign there this year. Like, I truly believe that, just because of the situation right now with LeBron and the franchise stability. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the brands are always going to be there, but I feel like they're not going to go for those big markets anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, as you heard, that was our 2-minute buzzer. So that's the end of our show. But we want to let everybody know that next week, for anybody that's wondering why we didn't talk more NFL, next week's show is complete NFL free agency coverage. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, everybody.